And welcome back to day one of the North American Spring Playoffs. We're gearing up for our next game between Team Curse versus Dignitas. And I'd like to ask you guys just a few more questions, this time looking forward at the match. Let's start with Skara, probably the biggest talking point coming into this game. 0-1-6 in Italy. Seemed to play pretty well, not necessarily a game-changing performance, but what was your take on Skara this matchup, Jet?
I think he did his job, he didn't choke, he was almost a zero-sum for this game. He didn't necessarily make any great plays, but most importantly, he filled the gap in the mid lane and Dignitas got an equal performance out of him.
Now, next on my hit list is going to be Quas. Dr. Mundo, bit of a passive top laner, was against Jax being played by Cruiser. What was your take on Cruiser's performance, on Jax rather?
I thought Cruiser actually played really good. Not only was he up CS early, but he had some... He used his TP a lot better, he split pushed out a lot better, and he just did his job better overall. I mean, it's not like he did any like shining plays. He just like, hey, I'm Jax, I'm going to split push. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
So
worked out in his favor. Bunny Fufu missed some skill shots. You were quite critical maybe earlier on in the game. What do you think of Bunny Fufu coming into now match 2 of the playoffs?
I mean, he's in his senior year of high school, so I can only imagine how much pressure this would be for somebody of his age. So hopefully he can just brush off the nerves. I mean, I hope the team's there to just back him up and take care of him. And yeah, he performed better.
It seems like for Bunny, it's thresh or bust. His karma is pretty good. If they went back to a poke type composition, he could pull that out. But I don't necessarily think that's what Coast style is going to be for the playoffs. They should be back into the diving stuff, which means his Leona plays just got to pick up. And I don't know if I see that happening. Yeah,
it was a tough game. I mean, the few engages he did get in there didn't exactly land those Zenith Blades. Now, the player that did play Dr. Mundo was Quas, of course. Got a bit pushed around, was forced into a situation where he had to defend 2 members of Dignitas and his inhibitors.
Yeah.
What do we think to the Mundo pick? Maybe something a bit more proactive, maybe something he can do a bit different in the game?
I don't really think that the ban's picks phase are really what wrong with that game. It's just, you just have to play at the level. And if you're choking and you're just not there, and he showed up the lane, he was like 30 CS behind Jax, and he couldn't fight him at that point. So, and he had some poor TP decisions, he had some weaker rotations. He just has to get his stuff together.
I remember when Quas played in the summer promotion tournament at PAX last year. He choked in that experience. At the very start of the LCS season, he wasn't playing well. As he got more comfortable with the regular season, I probably put him as 3rd best top laner in North America, quite honestly. He didn't play like it that game. He wasn't even close. He is completely consumed by his nerves right now. I don't think it matters what champion he plays. He just needs to settle down, and it's a problem that he has to be able to get past. Now's the time.
So I got one final question for St. Vicious before we throw it back to the casters. If you were Coach Vicious right now, what would you say to a Curse team that we've watched? The summary of our post-game analysis and pre-game build-up now is that Dignitas made right decisions and Curse just individually felt lacking. So Coach Vicious, what would you say to them?
Oh my God. I mean, there's nothing really to tell them. It's just to like, they know that they can play at that level. They know that they're good players. And I mean, even Jad, he's like, yeah, he's like 3rd best top lane in an A. But he's not playing at that level. You just have to take a deep breath and just realize the situation. Just go and be like, hey, it's just like you're playing at home, man. There's no different. It's just like a scrim. Just go in there and like put it all on the line.
If I could chime in, I would say ban Italy because that's what put the most pressure on them overall. And then just do what you want. Just play the game is the biggest thing.
Yep.
Breathing, ban Italy, and do what you want. Guys, that's the advice. We'll see if they take it. Freaking Kobe, take it away.
Thank you very much. Quick shot. We're here. We're ready. I already banned Italy in my mind.
Are you nervous?
A little bit. I'm like cold randomly. I don't know. I've never been like cold up here, but I was like shivering from the air conditioning or something. But you know what? Got playoffs. We got exciting games. Let's see how it's going to go. Going to have champs like going up in just a second. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. Curse looked pretty focused this time around. And that's actually a team, you know, they've kind of highlighted nerves on that team because Voyboy sometimes, you know, got a little sick before the matches.
Yeah.
This time around, they're talking about Bunny Fufu being very young, Quas's history in the promotion tournament. It seems like those problems are kind of plaguing them, whereas Dignitas, they're on top of the world right now. They're very calm. And they were all smiles.
True.
And they should be because they played it so well. They controlled their minion waves and their aggression very, very well in that game.
They played the game quite nicely, and here we go. The picks and bans coming through once more. I feel like Curse were a team that don't need to change much about this one. Yep, the Annie. Now this time actually going to get banned away from Kiwi Kid. Actually, they have a lot changed. Sorry, they're going to ban away Cruisers, Lee Sin. Now, will it be Nidalee, or will it be the first pick for Voyboy? That's kind of the big question. And then, do you ban Jax to allow yourself to get one and not lose the other?
So Jax is very important. We've already been over how important Italy is, but Soraka, you can't forget about this champion.
Yeah.
Extremely important in the meta right now.
No, they go for Crumb's Elise. They're saying, you know what? We'll remove the early game playmaking, the Annie in the laning phase, the Cruiser Lee Sin that just is so strong. This guarantees Curse gets at least one very high priority pick. Dignitas has to think, okay, well, first, what are they going to first pick, and then what do we want to get to respond to?
Right, so they could let them all slide and try and grab 2 in response here. We'll have to see what they want to go with on blue side. They also have the guaranteed counter pick to save for whichever lane they feel needs it most. Soraka being the greatest of the evils.
Well, Curse say they just want the jungle presence for I Will Dominate, but that gives the second in Italy in a row now to Skara, and the Thresh still gets stolen away by Dignitas, so Bunny Fufu is still going to be just that little bit uncomfortable.
All right, so Curse this time around opting not for the Pharaoh Flare. Kha'Zix's extremely powerful, still considered probably the top jungle champion by a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's definitely arguments for the Pharaoh Flare style. Saint really favoring that Xin Sao right now. But Kha'Zix is always in the conversation at least.
Yeah, but the thing that's weird to me is Curse have 0 knockups in this lineup, and they're expecting that Yasuo is some form of engage here, that he's going to actually get to the back line.
I feel like he's kind of hung up on the 1 versus 1 and not quite as much thinking about the 5 versus 5 with the pick. However, the Wind Wall is always a great tool against the spears, like we highlighted before. However, we saw him a couple missed Wind Walls before, threw it sideways and still got hit by a spear.
Yeah, a couple of mistakes there from Voiway, but the Jax does get locked in here for Quas. I think that is the right choice for Chris to get a strong top lane on this one. But we'll see if Cruiser can pick a Renekton and beat it up, if it's going to be 2-on-1 or 2-on-2. There's a lot of questions to answer. When you've got Jax in the game, it's going to be Trundle, actually, for the top lane pick to fight against it, and Graves for Cutie Pie.
Yeah, so Quas, when he was facing Jax, decided to go with the Mundo. Cruiser's going to take Trundle into it. I do like that pickup. He should be able to handle it. However, it's probably going to be the 2 versus 1 switches, so we'll see how it works out, especially with Graves being picked up as AD carry. High burst and an AoE there.
Yeah, he's not like the best disengage AD carry. He's short range, hard to siege turrets with it, but I'm like smoke screen, not really so much. Kurt's going to make their choices. Second time the hover on Syndra.
I like him against Kha'Zix, though, because he's a bit tankier.
Yeah.
And he can actually fight Kha'Zix towards the late game. One of the few guys that can do it as an AD carry. Plus, he's got Thresh backing him up, so the backline feels pretty safe here for Dignitas. Anytime you can lock in Thresh and Nidalee as a combo, just right there is the core of a very strong team. Thresh brings so much peel and so much disengage to the Nidalee sieging aspects.
So Curse complete their lineup though. Jungle, Kha'Zix, top lane Jax. It's going to be Lucian, AD carry, mid lane Lulu. So a couple of new picks up here for Curse. It's going to be a very new look for their mid lane. Are going to change what their team really does.
Don't play with me, Krems.
I'll see what Dignitas want to do. I mean, they can still run the same siege kind of composition. Of course, Elise being banned away means it's going to be Evelynn now for Crumb. So interesting early game moves are available, getting by some wards.
Yeah, so I do like a 2 versus 1 here for, or a lane swap here for Dignitas. Evelynn is really good at even taking down turrets. Like, people are saying, oh, you kind of reduce her invisibility aspect early on. She can't pressure all these lanes, but she can actually take turrets very quickly. Attack speed buff on her E, and Graves' wave clear is amazing. So yeah. I think they would be strong.
And she's a very fast clearer. I think faster than Kha'Zix a little bit because of the attack speed on the AoE. So she would get to that turret sooner. She would out-damage the Kha'Zix when she does get there. It's going to be a thing to watch out for. Certainly, I feel like Dignitas still put together a good lineup. I think they've still run with the same strengths they had before. Going to see what happens with this one. So as the champs are locked in and loading, head on over to Twitter and let us know who you think is going to win.
Yeah, tweet us as always at LO Esports and use those hashtags DigWin or CurseWin and share your prediction.
Yeah, and we'll see if you guys keep it correct going on over throughout the day. Of course, it started out with a 54% to Dignitas, and well, Dig did win the first game, so.
And this time around, we're seeing similar strategies. We've got Dig with Nidalee, they've got Poke, they have Pillar disengage, they've got Thresh disengage. Curse, once again, they're going with the Leona. They want the hard engage. They're going to try and get in there with Kha'Zix, Lulu ultimate. I feel like Curse are going with the same sort of strategy. As Saint said, they need to execute this time, though.
They're going to have to. They're going to actually have to get up there, make the plays, start the engages, the Leona Solar Flares, the follow-up from Lulu, Jax, Kha'Zix. There's a lot of ways for these guys to jump in if Curse can make those fights actually happen, if they make the decisions, if they go for it.
And they're the ones with the Jax this time around. So they can rely on the snowballing late game power of Jax. Will Quas be able to utilize his teleport more effectively, though? I mean, that mistake where he teleports to the dying turret really did cost them. In this game, where it's not all about team fights anymore, it's about how you spend your time and how effectively and efficiently you can move around the map. A few seconds like that, teleporting to a dying turret and then having to recall instead, will cost you everything. That's as big as a mistake as getting picked off, as dying in a team fight, misplaying like that.
Absolutely. You saw 2 inhibs went down because of that one. The dance battles have started. Quas doing circles. Cruiser just kind of hopping up and down real quick.
Gotta be careful, though.
He's got the moves.
He's lulling him into a false sense of confidence here. Cruiser is pretending it's all fun and games, but it is not all fun and games in that bush.
Yeah, there's a Chain Warden right behind him, ready to protect his turf. And I feel like Trundle, like especially this skin, like that is the leader of a gang.
Oh yeah,
like
it's like
he's got his posse backing him up.
A pack of Velociraptors here trying to trick Quas.
Those are odd-looking Velociraptors. I've never seen a Velociraptor in a dress.
Well, they can open doors, and you didn't expect that, did you?
It's true. They can do that, so you got to be careful. Can they open locks, though? If it's a locked door, can they open it? I don't think so. Curse losing a bit of control here, both in the fan vote and the jungle. Dignitas going to make their way down into this one. Looks like Dig will initiate the 2-on-1.
So Cutie Pie shoots the buckshot over the wall there into Fog of War just to make sure they're not going to get ambushed from that ledge.
It's a very smart choice.
So there's so many things that you have to check for in this early game with so many different strategies of the level 1s coming out. You have to make those small choices like he just did, trying to make sure there's nobody around the corner going to kill them all.
So Crumbs and Cruiser are going to take the blue buff, then the wolves, and it looks like they will take down this camp as well. Actually, they leave one of the little wolves up, and they go for the white. So interesting moves. I keep seeing the flash of recall from Kiwi Kid, though I don't think he's actually backing. But I was wondering if they're doing something strategic. He's betting buttons.
He's working on his actions per minute there.
Mm-hmm. Has a bit of a cast time. I think dancing is faster, but it's okay. I will Dominate, going to solo his own part of the jungle. Looks like Quas will join the party late. Similar to last time, actually. Curse sent Quas to solo jungle.
Yeah.
Dominate grabbed both buffs, and then they converge.
They seem to be a little bit more greedy in the early game. And Dignitas, once again, they get the early start on the turret. I like Dig's strategy in this, because both times, even though this time around they're working on the turret with extra damage reduction, they get the jump on Curse, and they sort of force Curse to react to all of their plays as the game progresses. It's sort of advantage Curse right now, or Dignitas.
Yeah, and the thing is, I actually kept track of the minions this time. So Dig took that turret down with 2 minions left of wave number 2, plus all of wave number 3. Curse's push, they're actually lower on minions, actually. Like the cannon minion took a bunch of damage the wave before it, all died right here. So Dignitas, significantly faster push.
Yeah, plus they time it so that they hit the second turret with a fully fresh cannon minion. That's the most important part.
So it goes down. Curse eventually going to get rid of this one as well. And now we did see before.
Full steam ahead.
Wow, they're going for the inhibitor. The recall's starting now, but the wave is there. Curse going to send 2 guys back. Quas doesn't even bother TPing, but it's down below half.
Now the thing is, if you don't actually finish the inhibitor turret, then it costs you, because those regen, and it's hard to get back down there later in the game. But Dignitas are staying here to finish it.
There we go, turret number 3 at 408 into the game.
They left a giant line of ranged minions there, so the option is available for Curse to very, very deep freeze. There's no turret there that will thin out the minion line. However, if you do a super deep freeze like that, you give up your pressure elsewhere on the map, and it looks like Jax did not waste any time. It's going right back in his favor, and they will be shoving this back up towards top. And he's got a cannon minion in that pack as well.
Yeah, I mean, Doublelift didn't mince words when he said that you shouldn't freeze this. You give up so much pressure for your team. You should push down and make the play. So,
wow, they're shoving
though,
their top back and simultaneously going for a dragon here. So Curse trying to make up for that extra turret that they did lose.
Looks like they're going to get some decent damage. Kiwi Kid going to walk by a ward, but not walk by a dragon. So he is unaware of this. Voyboy keeps the mid lane pushed as well. He should escape Kiwi Kid successfully, and Curse are going to be right back into this one. Crumbs finally getting his second buff. That was safe the whole time, so that's not too big of a problem.
So they get a little bit of the gold back. Dragon still at the low base value there. And that's been traded for the freeze here from Dignitas. They decided to freeze this side and also farm their jungle instead of going for that dragon.
But the thing for Curse is that push, their entire rest of the team is recalling because they took health doing dragon. That giant push is just free farm for Cutie Pie.
Right. They gave up the big wave. Said the thing to look at a lot in these lane swap starting games is what do you do with that big wave that you get as a result? And Curse weren't able to do anything with it. Well, I guess you can say they traded it for dragon.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
It's a trade there. Cutie Pie happy with that trade, able to soak up a lot of money himself. And that's why I said I'm really excited about the meta now because it gives teams the option to decide who they're feeding their money to. Dignitas are actually deciding to feed their money to the AD carry. A lot of the times they will choose someone else. But since they've got Cruiser with a teleport and Cruiser freezing his lane, they decide to buff up those two players.
Level 5. Hook lands on a cop, actually. Doesn't mean much. No one's there. It's okay. I mean, it's a good hook, to be fair, but no one died.
That is a die-hard Thresh fan.
Yep. And will dominate, makes his way back to the mid lane. No big deal here for Curse. They do put their major resources on this lane. Voyboy actually holds top against Cutie Pie. Quas holds the bottom, so the top laner is going to be battling down there on the south side.
Yeah, because they went for the dragon here, Curse, they kind of exchanged global gold, which is balanced out through the team, for focused gold. The focused gold of the two solo lanes for Dig, as we said, it's going to be a powerful Trundle and a powerful Graves.
Well, the rotation, though, Dignitas are going to make their way for this big push. Even Scar's heading his way down. Cutie Pie's going to hold mid, but this is 4 versus 2, 4 versus 3, soon 4 versus 4. And
giant wave, they're actually letting them have that wave back, so it should equalize now. That was the little bit of advantage that Dig had to work with. They're not able to make a quick enough move, a little bit slow on swinging everybody down there, so they couldn't go for that dive. A lot of times you'll see everybody send, 4 or 5 even people down to that bottom turret when they have that wave to go for a dive. But Dignitas are not able to get it, and that means Jax catches right back up. So, Quas in a good position now.
Yeah, but Dignitas, though, they got the timer on this blue buff. They're pushing it down. Force the rotation out from Curse, take this one away. Cop wards it and says, 5 seconds too slow. His jurisdiction's been breached. Miscreants running around taking blue buffs.
He wasn't able to apprehend the miscreants. Looks like Quas, though, again, shoving it back. And his teleport is available. So, Curse actually, he's trying to ward for himself. He actually wants to stay here pretty deep. This is dangerous.
I want to see how Quas pays out in this one. So the first game he went for Mundo. He opened up double Ruby Crystal, lost his lane with his early items, and unfortunately never really had much to do with the game. Quas this time around triple Doran's Blade, investing heavily in his early game. Level 6 right now, but I guess he actually caught back up with Cruiser in this one. And we'll see if the Jax can actually scale up well this time.
So, once again, a double side lane push for Dignitas. This is how Curse sort of lost the last game. Cutie Pie and Cruiser doing their solo pushes here. They're getting a pretty good advantage over Curse. Curse really need to make something happen. If they send all their resources mid, then you better make something happen mid. Otherwise, you need to go soak up those two side lanes. It looks like this time around, they're going to try and take the waves that Dig have pushed at them.
This is interesting, yeah. So Curse, okay, Quas back to the top lane. I mean, funneling farm out of Jax, I think, is the single best choice they can make right now because it gives them such a late game bet that they can kind of put all their chips on and be like, yeah, you know, well, eventually Jack's hit 6 items, then he can do everything for us. And Quas, if he's playing up to par, he's going to have a great game in this one. The thing is, though, Cruiser has been generally, I feel like he's been generally freezing with these lanes. He's not pushing very quickly down. It builds up a very big wave. And we'll see if Dignitas attempt number 2, they can push down this turret.
It's kind of happens inherently when you have Trundle because he doesn't shove very quickly. But it has been the choice, the go-to choice there for Dig so far. So they're making a second try at this. We saw this last time. Cruiser built up a big wave, and they called people down, but Dignitas were a little bit slow swinging down there, and they weren't able to make anything happen with that wave. This time around, they got there first, and they zoned Curse out of getting into defense of that turret. They got to the tri-bush first, zoned away the members of Curse that were trying to come support this turret, and this time, they're rewarded with a whole bunch of damage and a lot of denied minions as well.
Wow, but Dignitas gun shy on that one. They see one glimpse of Curse and say, well, in case Quas TP's in, it's a 5v4. They back right out. Skara gonna push the mid lane down, but Cop just holds that very easily. That turret is very, very low, though.
Cruiser should probably teleport up top. There we go, able to back just in time. And since he was nurturing that slow wave down bottom, he's in a great place to even take on Jax. So he feels fine going up here to the top side, even with no wards. Dragon up at 10.
Well, that means TP's up for Quas, but not for Cruiser.
And Cruiser is still going to be top. Because like I said, he shoves very slowly. So, Dignitas getting the large wave up top and getting the damage on the bottom turret. This is not them giving up the free dragon. There's a lot of damage on the bottom turret and farm top that they traded for this. Curse again, going for the global gold.
Yeah, and they get it. That's 2 of 2 dragons. They're owning those with a team that will fight very well if they're not getting poked. They're going to win those battles. Cruiser slow pushing top, not going to mean much. Cutie Pie actually, he had the ability to push that bottom turret down and at least shove a wave into it. But realizing that all of Curse were just 2 screens away at Dragon, backed off very early on and said, I don't even want to risk dying to this one, giving away a kill. 12 minutes in, no champions have gone down, but 2 dragons and 5 turrets overall have. And hundreds of poor helpless minions have given their lives as well in this game.
Yes. Now, Dig, they're having a hard time because you cannot really push on to Lulu. So even if they committed more resources there, Voyboy with the strong early wave clear, and he's even gone with a strong early wave clear item build, funneling his power spike into that Morel and Omicron. More power right now in the mid game.
Well, think about it. He's fighting 3 Summoner Heals and a Trundle, and an Italy. I think it's just straight superior to getting
also, if he got that mastery, the spell thief, or the
you always do
one that gives 5 magic % damage on your hit, then his auto attacks even are going to apply that. So he'll be able to apply Grievous Wounds over and over again.
Anyone below 40%, he can pretty much get the entire team with it. I think it's a really great choice. I'm glad to see that item come back as heal gets more prevalent. Because it will affect the application of the heal.
Yeah.
It removes the debuff after the healing comes through, but you can just keep reapplying it and keep getting him low. Skara getting locked up, huge damage through Summoner Heal. Not going to be enough. First blood goes to Quas. Crumb stops the ulti. Bunny Fufu locked up a bit. Cutie Pie is going to push the bottom lane successfully. He's going to have to back off.
There's the global gold from that trade that they made earlier that cost them Dragon. This time, though, Scar going down. Man, that was a true stun lock from Curse.
Yep.
They overlapped all of their stuns pretty well there, taking out Scar. He had no chance for any sort of counterplay there, barely getting his flash off, and that's actually double summoners down in addition to dying, so it turned out even worse for him trying to escape.
Very well played. Bunny Fufu gets himself the hand in the first blood. The mid lane turret goes down afterwards as well. So Curse and Dignitas tied in this game. Dig up a turret, Curse up a champion and 2 dragons.
Talk about execution. I mean, that was the big point from the analyst desk. The nerves from Curse. Right there, that was execution.
Bunny played that one really nicely here. So here we go. Mid lane under fire. Another stun up on a Scar. Gets hooked in though. Has to pop the shield. No, he has to flash away though. Very low. Javelin hits. Skara answers back and gets revenge.
Yeah, the pick poke there. Graves, great addition in Italy because you can always fire a bunch of burst. the most mage-like of AD carries. And it's also an early power spiking AD carry. When he has Bloodthirster and Last Whisper, he does tremendous amount of attack damage with his abilities in an area. So double sources of damage that you have to worry about. Can't just itemize a single way. All right, so this is Bunny again, landing a pretty good combo, but having to burn his flash and heal for it, and still dying anyway. This is kind of the sniper combo from Dig, the sniper comp. They've got the Nidalee throwing spears or javelins, and Cutie Pie with his, what do you call that, a long-range shotgun, I guess. That's not really sniping.
Doesn't matter. Still works out for him. One thing I do want to actually point out, it's really cool, I didn't think about this yet, is that Graves is really good at destroying an entire minion wave, which helps create the openings, right? It removes all the barriers for javelins. Yeah. Like Graves will one-shot a minion wave, and then you can just throw one down the middle.
Kiwi Kid didn't even need that.
Solar Flare goes in, slows Scar, he's gonna back off. Hook onto Voyboy. It's gonna be a javelin, hits him for about a quarter of his health.
Teleport is up for Cruiser.
He's gonna show up, there's the ulti in from Crumbs as well. Dignitas on the chase, are they gonna get the damage through? Another one onto Quas, he's gonna run away. The team is gonna stay safe. There is only one 7er heal left for Curse. 2 still up for Dignitas. Looks like
they don't have to be. They don't even have to be that scared right now, Dignitas, because they know the hard engage from Curse is down right now, and the ulti from Kha'Zix is down, so they can't even sneak a Kha'Zix in there for a Lulu ult.
Bunny Fufu once again hooked in, but they don't care about him. They care about the turret. Cop takes another javelin. The turret's gonna go down. There we go. 5-3. Dignitas 1,500 gold up. The siege continues to work for these guys.
Yep, and a giant mini wave stuck at their turret, so the increase in gold will be even more. They can funnel more focused gold, try and get Cutie Pie to that Last Whisper. But it looks like they're actually choosing Skara this time around because Cutie Pie is needed for wave clear at mid.
I guess who's going to play the defense for this one? Dignitas cash in on all their money. Crumb's going to grab his red buff as well. So here we go. We found a couple engages. They've generally, I want to say, worked for Curse. But the problem is those have cooldowns. Dignitas get right back into it.
Yeah, and I like the counterplay from Dignitas. Immediately able to answer with the hooks, and also the slows coming in from Crumbs there. Pillars, by the way, not just for disengage in the poke comps. Yeah. Also great for chasing down. I think this is a really nice combo of the right AD carry to pick with Nidalee, since Nidalee doesn't have the long-range wave clear of a lot of other mid laners like Orianna and such. Graves can be the one to hold that mid lane when they're coming in with a push.
Yeah.
Third dragon here. This has been the story for Curse. Though they have given up turrets, they've been controlling the dragons very, very well, which gets increasingly...
Voyboy really going aggressive. Quas comes around the backside with teleport. Skara gets a lantern though. Kiwi Kid with the save. Dodges a part of the solar flare, but Bunny People goes back in anyway. Takes a bunch of damage. Down goes support. I will dominate now, stuck in the back lines. Played up is going to go down. Double kill for Dignitas.
Kiwi Kid just won that team fight. Not only did he save Skara, but he walks into the face of Leona because the solar flare was predicted behind him, and then he backs up, throwing the box down to counter the engage of Curse. Just all around, so well played by Kiwi Kid there.
Dignitas now up 3,000 gold. They keep finding things to do. They're only 18 minutes in.
All right, so it all starts off with the teleport from Quas. They didn't have vision of the area, so couldn't even see the ward teleport coming in. There's the save from Kiwi Kid. Steps up into Leona's space for the play because he's cut off by the Leona ulti. And then the box catches both of them after they engage.
Yeah, the great burst from Graves comes through as well, right? Level 10, level 11, just Bloodthirster Zerk Greaves, but Cutie Pie helped, of course, get that kill on a Bunny Fufu. We don't see him much, but he's a great champion.
The strong mid spiking of the AD carry is a very big point. He got some buffs too, extra collateral damage for his collateral damage.
And it's fun to watch this because it's so different from how it plays out in solo queue, right? 19 minutes in, team fight, team fight, team fight. Right? These guys have left laning phases very, very early on. Dignitas doing, I would say, almost the bare minimum to keep their minion waves in good shape. But Quas looks at the engaged flash, not going to hand any of the stuns there. Boy, but gets the knock of the Cruiser. Not in the best spot right now. Has to flash backwards. Does dodge Glitter Lance. Lantern is coming in a second, though. Takes it away. But Bunny Fufu goes back in for the engage, finds the stun on a Kiwi Kid, locks him down. There goes the Dignitas support. The engage still coming through. Crumbs also has nowhere to go. Another kill picked up. Curse collapsing.
So even though Quas splits the difference on that stun, doesn't lock anybody up, they still chase down 2 kills. Gives them map control, but all the lanes are pushed up towards them, so they can't claim any objectives.
I'm a Cutie Pie actually already pushing the bottom side. No one is there to teleport, and he's got a gigantic minion wave.
Those
could be a turret.
Those picks were not that much of a problem for Dignitas. I mean, they happened at pretty much the perfect moment. Since they were shoving up all the waves, they don't lose out on much. Quas will get there in time, at least, to soak up this minion wave for Curse. It's not too bad.
Yeah, gets it down to half. Looks like only 1,500 gold, though. Those kills actually meant a lot for Curse's coffers right here. They're not that far down anymore. They're right, and again, Bunny People goes in, finds an engage, and it works. Just anytime it's up, if Curse can keep looking.
So everybody, everybody was looking for that engage and the chase there. You also got to give the props to Quas.
Yeah.
Not letting them take that blue buff and get away with it. Plus, some of the gold that they gained back was because all 3 lanes shoving towards them, so they got a lot of minions to pick up as well.
But Curse have yet to make their way really across the map right here. They've only got 3 turrets down. 2 of those were in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Ooh. Face of the Mountain will be coming in pretty soon here for Bunny Fufu as well. That plus Lulu shields and ulti on either Jax or Kha'Zix means that if they can get a target and stick on them, the team fights here, the 2 melee carries for Curse will be enormous if they can get buffed up. If Dig are not able to use the Nidalee Spears to poke ahead of time, it could be disastrous.
Another engage attempted. Kiwi Kid's going to put the hook down onto I Will Dominate. Not going to go anywhere, though. That is a kill picked up for Curse. Now 4-3 on the map.
Talking about those engages, Rick, you're like, oh, every time Solar Player's up, Bunny Fufu goes in. Hey, stop! They go in, they get another kill. However, once again, Dignitas are pushing at the same time. So, they're not, Curse is not able to claim any objectives after this, and they kind of have to go clean up all the side waves.
You're going to see Crumbs. He's been sitting there in the Baron pit for like 2 minutes now. He's been waiting for something to happen. No one's crossed by him yet. But he's been chilling for quite some time, waiting for his team to start up the Baron attempt. Crumbs now going to start it there with I'm a Cutie Pie.
Not too tanky, but they've got pink ward coverage of it, so gives them some confidence.
Yeah, things come out and they're going to run away.
Tank here. Usually when you...
A ward saw Kiwi Kid, or Cutie Pie jump the wall.
Oh, that ward behind red buff is pretty important.
It's Cutie Pie.
That's really sneaky, actually. Keeping that one up is definitely important. But yeah, usually duoing with the top laner, who has Blade of the Ruin King, would be a lot safer.
Completely agree. But Cruiser can't hop over walls, so...
Yeah, he could flash it.
It's true.
He could teleport to a ward inside there.
I've seen that. I've seen both those. I've seen someone fail a Shyvana ult.
Freak has seen some stuff in his days.
I have. Played this game for more than 4.5 years.
So the teleport is probably going to be burned up top, though, for Cruiser, because right now Quas is shoving it in, so we probably won't be seeing that used into the Baron pit.
No. It's going to be chilling up here. Wow. Like,
it gets it up.
Cursor so...
That's a giant wave.
He's not even pushing it. Okay, here comes the TP, though. Dominate forces to jump away.
Oh, man, that TP sucked.
Yeah, it's going to give a free turret there to Quas in the top lane. It's going to be turret for Dragon, I guess.
Okay, so they lose the top turret for Dragon. They didn't get their engage, though, and their giant cooldown of the teleport is not going to be available here. It's actually Jax could teleport in for the Dragon fight, too. They don't even have to give up this Dragon fight. Bunny Fufu could ult them.
All right, this is the risk. Javelins have
they're not going to go for it, though.
They've not yet landed. They're waiting. How much time can they buy? Culling comes across red team. Good smite there by Crumb, secures it. But it's going to be now 2 turrets picked up.
All right, so
Dragon.
They wanted to play it safer. This is Curse playing a little safer game. They could teleport in, try and force that fight inside the Dragon pit, which is great for them. You know, they've got Leona. They're the hard engaged team. That's what they want. However, the safer play, trade a secondary turret for the Dragon. Just try and steal the Dragon. Maybe you get lucky with that calling.
Sure. But it's going to mean that Curse are now within 200 gold. Dignitas were fostering up to 3,000 earlier in this game, and Curse have come back very well in the mid-game. The picks haven't turned into turrets necessarily, but the Jax split push has come online. Trinity Force done. He's got Bilgewater Cutlass now as well. And Dignitas, really, they've not forced the issue much in a while now. That top inhibitor has been open since minute 4.
Well, I mean, what kind of forcing can they do with Dig? Look at what kind of hard engage is this? Are we like, Kiwi Kid, you got to land a hook. Hey, we're going to slow them down with Crumbs and Cruiser. We just saw how they tried to force that fight down at Dragon 5-on-4. Nobody's going to keep them there long enough for the teleport to come in.
I'm saying for this kind of team, like, set up the siege, right?
Yeah.
Like, get the lanes in a decent situation, like, make Quas TP to something, and then you have that sort of small gap where it's like, if Quas pushes, he can't join for a 4v5. And like set up a siege somewhere. Go pressure the top inhibitor. Like Curse can't not defend that.
I definitely agree. They need a blue buff on Skara. Check. Now try and use that to your advantage. Maybe go for the siege. You rely on Kiwi Kid's disengage. He's got a talisman. That would be a miracle hook if you could get it over that wall.
Not gonna happen. Voyboy. Waiting for Dominate to help secure the blue.
Dignitas are kind of forced into doing this Baron. There's a Jack split pushing against them. This is a bad place to be forced into when you're the Nidalee team here. Curse, they've got, again, Bunny Fufu ultimate ready. They can go for this Baron fight or trade for the inhibitor.
Well, this one's down to about 1/4. Box comes down, Solar Flare as well. Will they stick for it? In comes Dominate, picks up 1 kill, and the fight is on. Cruiser, he's going to be going down. Many kills picked up. Great smite by Crumbs, but Dig are on the run. Quas finds another. Huge kills coming for Curse. 3 so far. I'm a Cutie Pie is on the run. Dominate doing what he can to slow him down. The flash over the wall for both these guys. Cutie Pie's looking more damage. Does have the quick draw. Quas can't chase him down, but it's a 5v2. Curse can pick up more.
Yeah, the discrepancy in summoner spells there with the teleport advantage to the Curse team, who has also the hard engage advantage. Well, there comes Skara.
And Curse stop fighting. They back off because the respawns come in. Cop does get the mid turret down. That's a really good pickup.
All right, so they got the Baron buff, and they actually did not even lose that inhibitor turret. So Dignitas, you know, Crumbs staying in there with the smite.
Wow.
And then Skara coming up huge with the javelins.
You know, he went Morellonomicon.
That's
He's missing 40 MR.
It looked like a pretty good outplay from Curse, but since they didn't get the inhibitor turret or steal away the Baron, and then they also gave up that kill right there, Dignitas sitting pretty.
Yeah, the overall trade was Curse got 2 kills in a turret, or plus 2 kills in a turret, and Dignitas got a Baron on them. You can see the gold.
Yeah.
Same as it was before, plus 300 gold for Dignitas, but they're wearing 2 Baron buffs.
The Baron buff should definitely give them the confidence to go for that siege that you were talking about, to force something, to force that fight.
Force Dominate away. The Ascension is used as well. How well can Kha'Zix escape right now?
Whoa!
The flash, the pillar. Dominate is going to be slowed, and the pink ward reveals. The hook comes in as well, and they pick him off. They do force it. Cop, though, dealing some damage to the back line. Another hook into the box. Big damage. Solar Flare hits onto 4. Dignitas now forced to run. Kiwi Kid taking some damage. Crumbs the front line, taking huge chunks out of his health. He's going to go down. Voyboy leads the counterattack. 4 versus 4. Bunny forced to run away. Another javelin misses. Cop takes down Cutie Pie. Skara on the retreat. Curse taking big chunks of damage down. Skara tries to run. The Morellonomicon helped a little bit. It was a +1 fight for Curse.
Oh, Dignitas going for turret dives when Curse still have the hard engage, and they definitely paid for it. Now, Skara, though, you gotta be careful chasing in Nidalee. It's not like Singe, where you slowly burn down.
You just instantly die. Bunny Fufu, how good's the flay? How good's the flay from Kiwi Kid?
Timing, gotta watch the timing on this one. And
good play. Nicely done, Kiwi Kid. Nicely done.
Hey.
He hooks him to be sure.
Yeah, get out my face. Kiwi Kid has been making some pretty good plays. Got out a couple times, but man, that last fight was huge. I hope we'll get a recount of that one because so many things happened. I mean, the Baron buff, as I said, it was going to give them the confidence to try and siege up. However, they opt to go for the tower dive, and you know, Bunny Fufu comes in. He came up big actually, stunning again. So. Kiwi Kid, that was 1 hook that awarded them 1 kill. This is another hook that awards them some positioning. The ult from Graves, actually, Bunny takes that one to the face and it explodes behind him, so they don't get that one. But Bunny is actually going to flash in again just for the stun on Cutie Pie. And I want to see why Cutie Pie sort of walks back into the team here. He's just walking slowly back into the team. That's not optimal.
Yeah, that wasn't good. Scar actually missed a lot of javelins there as well. I saw him hit 1 of 3 so far.
Hey, he hit that one on Lulu to kill him.
Yeah, it's true. But
yeah, you're right. Right there, he did miss a few. I think the bigger detriment for Dig was Graves just walking and not auto-attacking there. He was also slowed right into the team.
He's the tankiest of the AD carries. It's fine. You can frontline it. No.
Yeah, apparently it is not fine.
Apparently not. But Last Whisper now completed for Cutie-Pie. It's his 3rd pickup. Oh, I will dominate off to the side. Good engaged by Crumbs. Dominate goes to the back line, looks for Skara. The hook from Kiwi Kid might keep the safe. Cruiser finds 1 kill. Dominate keeps the shield, stays alive. 1-for-1 fight. Curse firing from the back lines. Cop doing some great damage. Cruiser still chasing down. Quath in the mix as well. Crumbs forced to run. Lantern saves Cruiser. But Curse so far winning these scraps. Another 2-for-1.
Well, the poke's not done yet. Skara's got more targets.
But so does Cop. Nope, disengage. All right, Scar's not done.
I think.
Okay,
this is very dangerous.
Curse low.
I mean, Scar's got the double buffs here. This is a very interesting choice here. 1 spear lands. There's no smite, so they'll get the dragon at least.
And
double hops. Okay, so looks like Cop slapped Scar with a restraining order, keeping him away from the rest of the team there, and is able to zone them off long enough to award them the dragon and safe escape.
Yeah, so Curse turning it back on 20 minutes into the game. You can see they've equalized turrets now 6-6. They finally started to grab their own dragons as well. They're up 5 kills and they're up 2,000 gold now in this game. Dignitas Curse weathered the storm, got their items in, and they're finding much better fights.
Shall we check back in with that hashtag who's going to win the game dealio? Because this is exciting. Back and forth. Dig now a little bit down in gold. However, the poke versus hard engage is always an age-old battle that could go either way, depending on the accuracy of a few spears or a few solar flares.
Well, it's all about skill shots. They call them that for a reason. You got to aim well if you want to make it happen. Skara knocking down minions in the mid lane. 246 minions in that guy. With the javelin to I will dominate. He's got to back off.
Oh. Strongly in favor of Dig now.
Yeah.
And they're actually behind in gold.
It is cumulative over the course of the game, so they're winning for a lot of it. You guys got to go back and vote twice as hard if you think Curse is going to win.
All right, so.
Nope, still going to Dig.
People
still think Dig's going to win. All right.
Teleports are up for both of these guys here, so I'm actually interested to see, since it's been so long since we've had the matchup of Jax actually fighting Trundle in a lane, which one would have the advantage. Right now, I think that it would be heavily in favor of Quas, and he could probably bully Cruiser around.
Yeah, he's up an item.
If they met up.
It's like a little bit of health versus a freaking Trinity Force. Like,
yeah.
No
because
contest.
of that, Dig go for the hard engage.
There comes the ulti. Wow, down goes Cop at the start. Buddy Fufu in the front lines. In comes everybody else. Quas back there, chunking down Cutie Pie. Dominate stays alive. 1-for-1 so far. A cluster of champions. Quas puts out more damage. Flashes out. Crumbs on the chase. The shield might just keep him safe. Javelin won't land.
Leap strike is up. Can he get a minion? Oh, the trinket ward. 2 for 2. We did question Dig's ability to hard engage, and I was like, oh, what are you going to do? Count on Kiwi Kid's hook? Yes.
Yes,
they will. They will 100% count on Kiwi Kid for the hard engage, and they get a pick before the team fight even starts, but they're
Scar stays for the turret. He dies for the
God.
inhib turret. Another kill to Quas. Quas is 5-0-7 now. He picked up, I think, all three kills in that fight. That is a scary Jax.
All right, so definitely if he ever meets up with Trundle, he's going to crush him now.
Yeah.
Looks like they're turning their eyes towards Baron here with their jungler just spawning. They have to have Dominate there because Crumbs could get in there and sneak in there with a smite.
Well, they're looking for Cruiser, though, who's got really nowhere to go. Slowed down by the Glitterlance. Quas finds another 6-0-7 on Jax. Continues the push.
All right, Jax's late game status here.
Word comes down, Crumbs.
Crumbs has to be careful about
Baron.
showing his face, but if he makes a quick move in there, he could steal it.
Well, some damage comes through, actually. Quas finding another kill. Kiwi Kid goes down. Crumbs still waiting in the wings. Can he get the steal?
Kha'Zix is here, so it's going to be ridiculously hard for him to get it.
Crumbs got it! What? He got the Baron! I'm a Cutie Pie will die to Quas. Crumbs will die for his service. It might not be enough.
Oh, they're probably gonna lose most of their base here, but oh, crumbs, that was ridiculous.
Hashtag worth it right here.
Wow.
Curse moving in for the inhib. They'll get the inhib turret.
Oh, they're gonna at least get the inhib here.
Oh man, they can get the game. Skara.
Oh no, Dominic going way too deep.
Skara, Javelin, nope, all right. Mid inhib goes down. Curse aren't done yet.
Yeah, 20
seconds.
I think they
5v3.
Warboy's low on mana though.
Hook comes in, a little bit of damage. This could be good. Turret number 1. Here comes the engage for turret number 2. The Baron might not be enough anyway. Damage comes through. The Nexus, the only thing standing. Curse focus it down, and they're going to bring it back in game 2. 35 minutes in, we got ourselves a match.
Oh, that was a good game.
Yeah.
Now that was a good game. The Curse, they shake off the nerves. They go hard engage into the poke one more time. They get it this time.
Yeah, they did. And even though 2 Barons, I think it was 2 Barons with the Dignitas, Curse still made it happen. Pick a couple different champions. Quas super stepped up that time. That was the big one. Bunny went for some engages, made those happen as well. And the follow-through was there. Dive in the front line. Voyboy supported Quas the entire way through. You can see him on the screen, happy with that win, of course. Very much a team effort in that game.
Crumbs with the YOLO Baron steal at the end was impressive. If everyone else hadn't have died to Quas jumping over the Baron wall over and over, catching people and just killing all of them, then they could have held out.
Yeah, Quas won them the game off those picks, basically.
Quas definitely won them the game at the end there. The Jax, after the team fight where he got 3 more kills, he was rolling over everybody.
So very impressive play now in this one. We're going to have the game 3, and now you got to think about, like, these guys got to change things up a little bit, because
do they? That could have gone either way. That was.
I'm not sure, right? But it feels like if you look at the progression, right? Like, okay, Poke Comp game 1 worked. Curse was too pensive to play it. Curse stood up for themselves a bit more, found the engages, and it's like, well, and honestly, Skara was not hitting javelins that game.
Yeah.
He flatly wasn't, and so it's like maybe look at something else. I think Jax once again becomes top priority. I think it's the first pick or ban, because we've seen him just do so much. I was surprised that he got to be picked so late. Like the steal on Thresh was a higher priority, the Lucian grab was a higher priority, but it let Quas have that late game potential. I feel like that champ moves up in priority, and I wonder then, are Dig comfortable to run a poke comp against a team that are actually engaging properly?
Yeah, I don't know. Since Curse performed so well this time with it, I mean, anytime you do have this matchup where you have the poke versus hard engage, the onus of action is always on the team that is taking the Leona, that's trying to kill Nitty, hard engage on her.
Yeah.
So it's up to them to either make the mistakes or actually win the games. They're going to have to take action. If they don't, and you do nothing, that's what happens in game 1.
Yeah.
Or if you do and you mess up. And Dignitas, though, you can run poke comps if you don't have faith in your enemies. You think that they'll either mess up or they'll be indecisive.
Yeah.
This time around, I don't think they can take that chance with Curse.
Yeah, so then it's like, do you change your pick and ban phase? Do you remove Leona as an extra ban, right? Dig could also be on blue side. They can first pick the Jax to deny that one, the clutch pick, right? Still ban away, ban away the Thresh, ban away Leona, and just like, okay, your gauge is gone. We can make you passive again.
So because it wasn't like an amazing Nidalee performance, I don't think they want to tailor everything around focusing on getting Nidalee and doing poke again and trying to ban out the counters to poke. There's a lot of things that you can take to run into poke.
Okay.
So I think that they'll probably use a different strategy.
Okay, well, we'll see what it is. We're going to toss it over to Quickshot Kobe. Nope, Quickshot Jat and St. Vicious to walk us through Curse's big win.
Thank you very much, Freak. And with that win, Curse have tied up the series, and we'll be taking Dignitas into a game 3. There's a whole lot to talk about in that game. I want to go right back to the beginning very quickly, because the second game in a row now that I felt Dignitas got a slight advantage early on. 4.5, 5 minutes in the clock. Curse lost their inhibitor turret, and we were looking at a Quas like hesitated to jump in with Jackson. It was against 4 members, of course, but the early tower swapping, not necessarily Curse's strong points so far this series.
Yeah, it looked like Quas was a little late getting to the 2v1, and he also, he was hesitant jumping in. Nobody really had mana, and you had people right behind you. The tower was still up. I think he should have been a little bit more aggressive with that, but I mean, he brushed the nerves off pretty quick, and he like took that game over.
Yeah, Quas went 8-0-7 on Jax. And Saint and I were talking about this too. This was one of the craziest games we've seen all split. There were a lot of fights down the stretch in the last 5 or 10 minutes that could have ended the series.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous that Curse ended up pulling this one out.
Yeah, very exciting to watch. Now, talk to me why that mid-game went as back and forth as it did. I do want to highlight that I think both Bunny Fufu and Kiwi Kid stepped up their engages. I've seen much more skill shots landing. And at different points. But at the end of the day, most of the fights went in favor of Curse. Is it purely because they had hard engage and their champions did slightly better in those fights? Or was it Dig being out of position? What's your take?
I think they proved really early on that they were able to close in on positioning if Dignitas was anywhere. The amount of times they could jump onto Scar's Nidalee, really early on, we saw them pile on the mid lane once they killed Scar. And at that point, we're saying, yeah, they can kill Nidalee if they get the positioning. And it was Curse, I feel like, relaxing, bringing a much harder initiation onto their team. The Jax for Quas, taking it out of the hands for Cruiser, was huge. And I think that's probably the contested pick coming in Game 3.
Yeah, I think Jax is probably going to be the biggest contested pick here. I mean, Cruiser shined on it, Quas shined on it, and it just, takes a game over. There was one fight where Cop, the fight started with him getting hooked and instantly killed. And I was like, oh my god, it's done for Curse, it's over.
And then Quas just jumped in.
Yeah, I was like, oh god. And he just ended up cleaning the whole fight up, and
we'll get to that a little bit later. I do want to quickly just touch on Bunny Fufu and Leona. Game 1, not that great. This game was a lot better. There was a kill in 13 or 14 minutes where he completely stunlocked Skara. Then less than 2 minutes later, he sort of re-engages defending his turret, goes down. I was much happier with his performance in Game 2. You touched on the fact that Quas sort of shook off some of the nerves. In general, Curse seemed more alive in this game. And do you think it is just settling down and getting into the rhythm again?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they were still a little bit behind when it came to the rotations, but at least they were there to defend the turret this time. And yeah, they were actually there holding the turrets and prolonging the game and taking it out of that fast push that Nidalee really likes. So I think that's a big factor.
I would say as the game progressed, they got more and more over their nerves. Right at the start, Quas was a little hesitant. Even through the mid-game, Bunny Fufu was making some bad mistakes, but by the end of it, they seemed comfortable. And I think that carries all the momentum through to the next game.
Well, we'll see, because one of the things that gave them a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence was a Baron, let me put it that way. Let's pull the first replay up onto your screen right now. Old Dignitas, Scar is back. They start the B word, as we have seen countless times before. Chat, do you want to talk us through Curse's positioning and maybe what Dignitas did or didn't do right? Let's roll this replay.
It actually felt like Curse might actually win the game straight off of this one, because there is a Jax split pushing. All 5 members of Curse are at full health, and he has the teleport up with the pink ward inside. It is just a disaster waiting to happen. Look how low they are before the fight even starts. Yes, Kiwi Kid got a flay onto I Will Dominate, and thank God Crumbs was able to smite this one down, because it could have been a disaster. You trap 5 people in the Baron Pit like that against a Lulu, Glitterlance, all the shields, and a Jax. It's just death.
And that's exactly what we've seen. Atypical Dignitas. I mean, they shook off the B word towards the middle of the spring split this time round, costing them. I think one of the questions I have to ask you is, did Dignitas need to go for Baron? I mean, you've seen on the map there, Jax was busy split pushing. He already had his Trinity Force built by that point, and Quas was becoming that monster. Was that the tool they needed, or were there other options available to Dignitas?
I think that they definitely had to go for Baron there. That's just what Jax does. He makes you force your hand. And Jax still had the TP up, so he could come into Baron. Wasn't Trundle's TP down? I'm pretty sure it was down at the time. Yeah, so he has no TP to sit there and hold the Jax. They have to force something, and they have to force Jax to come to the fight. Thank God for Dignitas that Crumbs did end up hitting that smite. If he didn't, that would have probably been the end of the game right there.
Yeah, he hit a couple smites. I would say they didn't need to go for Baron in that fashion necessarily. I think they probably should have actually had Cruiser back on Trundle and try and just force Dignitas to TP in and try a 5v4 Baron, because at least they wouldn't just be opting into a screwed up fight for them. Overall, though, they were in a bad situation, and I think they made a slightly suboptimal call.
Well, I really like the decision-making in this game, because you've seen it swing in control from each team. Now, the team fight we were discussing a little bit earlier, where Quas just jumps in. This is our second replay. Let's pull this one up onto your screens. It takes place fairly late in the game, a couple minutes before it ends, actually, and it's going to take place in this middle lane. So let's roll this one out. And Saint, I know you were talking quite excitedly about Quas and how he just sort of man-modes it up here once the fight breaks out.
Yeah, so I see this happening. I'm like, all right, nice. They're going to get away. And then somehow Kiwi Kid hit so many good hooks this game. And you can see it right here. He just nailed one right on Cop and just blew him up instantly. I thought this was the end of the game right here. But Quas is just such a powerhouse at this point. You can see him. He's just bulldozing Cutie Pie down. He doesn't care who is on him. Just takes out 2 members of the team on his own. So I think in a straight head-to-head team fight, Curse is just a much better team. You can't fight head-on with Nidalee. You have to hit a little bit of poke first.
Very good play there from Dignitas. The Jax really shining through. So 2 for 2 on Jax this series so far. Both teams, some minor mistakes here and there. But in general, that was a little bit more about Curse, especially in comparison to Game 1. They're feeling good. You've discussed the momentum. Pretty happy with their performance so far.
I think Curse was actually a little lucky to win that game because of the mistakes they made earlier. I think of the dragon fight that happened earlier on in the game where they tried to kill Voy Boy, then Bunny Fufu went in and died, and like, oh, at least they got the dragon, but they're down like 3,000 or 4,000 gold. I do think they played much more to their style, and the momentum should carry them through to Game 3, but man, that game was so crazy. Even now, it's like a 55-45 who wins.
Well, we're hearing about the Twitter vote, #CurseWin, #DigWin. We've been talking predictions, we've talked momentum. I want to know who's taking the series. Jet, is it Dignitas or Curse that will face Cloud9 tomorrow?
That is a bold thing. Right now, I have to go with Curse with the momentum.
Saint?
Well,
he can't.
I wonder who I'm
This is such a
say.
tough seat to be in.
Maybe
lock it in.
Curse.
Maybe Curse. Not convinced, though.
No, I don't know.
It's incredibly close.
They're momentum based. I'd say they're a heavily momentum based team, and the nerves are gone. If they do the right ban pick phase, hopefully they carry it
See,
through.
not convinced. So Jet's feeling the confidence. Saint locking it in. We'll have to see how it works out. Guys, we do need to take a very quick break. And when we come back, it is Game 3 between Dignitas versus Curse to see who will come out on top and advance to our second semi-final series. Stay tuned.